Welcome Taylor O'Brien to the stage.
So what's going on, everybody? I'm Taylor. I do videography and recently have been hired by a law firm out in Baton Rouge. Before that happened, I was working in Port Fourchon for 7 years. I worked 7 and 7. I was a logistics coordinator. So with that time off, those 7 days off, I was really able to find something else to do. I took up fitness, and from there, I just started filming my clients and learning to get better. With that, eventually led to my love with the camera. The engagement, the reach, the ease of it, and we'll break down some viral techniques involving TikTok. By a show of hands and keep them up, how many of you are on TikTok and posting on TikTok? Okay, cool. Do you have more than 1,000 followers? Keep your hands up. Okay, it's getting thin. All right. If you get 1,000 followers, you can go live on TikTok. And whenever you go live is a good opportunity for you to start involved with your audience. They see your behind the scenes, they see your day in the life of, and they start looking forward to seeing you. When that happens, you're able to not only be involved with them and their lives, you'll have some of the same people that continue to come. There's been instances in our lives where some people go through things and they share with the live, and the community comes together around them. And that really nurtures your audience. So it's more personal, it's more engaging to them, and they feel a part of that. We do live edits at night. We always were like, man, how do you have the time to do this? I don't. And so that's the thing, is making those lives incorporate whenever you're being productive. So when I'm editing at night, I have the camera, I just have it on a tripod set up, and I'm live. And many times I'll engage as soon as that live starts, and then as it goes by, I'll kind of, do my edits. I'll play some music, because most times, especially with TikTok, you have people who will be scrolling at night, just hanging out. People are lonely. People want company and attention, and they only go through it through social media. So using that and being that person that they connect with and they bond with is something that's big, and we'll talk more about that going forward. This actually, the guy that I was talking about in the Colada show, I met when I was filming his son. He actually made this graphic for me, so I thought that was really cool. But you find that whenever you become a resource with people and you lead with trying to help them, then you can never lose. Your intentions are always going to be pure, and that's why people succeed. We'll talk about that. I'm gonna make sure this clicker works. Oh, that was easy. Cool. All right, so the benefits of short form. We all know short form videos are typically shorter in length, more engaging, and it makes it ideal to convey something quick. So everybody has ADD, everybody's got ADHD. We're just torched with stuff in our face. We're overstimulated. So having the ability to get your message across quick is going to be the way that you land. People make content because they want to sell, but you're going to make content because you want to help people, because they pick it up. They know when you come in to pitch. They know when you got a call to action. They know all that. Structuring in a way of putting them first is always going to be the method. So if you start a video, most times you could always tell when someone begins getting in front of the camera. It's very intimidating. But it's always like, hey guys, I'm Taylor. I just wanted to get on here and talk about, they're gone. They're already swiped. So if you gotta say that, you can say that, but you put it in CapCut, you cut that part out, and you get straight to it. Your first 3 words need to have you in it. If you start a video, I found this awesome technique, you could change that to, if you wanna know this awesome technique. Because people don't care about what you did, they wanna know how you can benefit them. How can they learn from you and it benefit them immediately? So it's not about you, and that's gonna be the biggest thing that's gonna help you in creating content. So it's about them all the time. Everything in business is relationships and communication. So we all know if we've had a bad business interaction or a bad relationship, it usually stems from communication. And that's all social media is. It's getting your point across in an effective way that's going to allow you to get to it quick, and that's going to convey your message. So how do you communicate what you do in a way that the person is willing to relate. So we're going to talk about a method that I learned at a conference through Ryan Magine. He's a famous TikToker. Met him in Atlanta, and he talks about don't be a cub and be a bear. That's on the next few slides. But being relatable is probably the #1 thing. Whether you're selling insurance, you're selling homes, you don't always have to talk about the market. You don't always have to talk about the interest rate. You can talk about something that helps speed your time up to get the kids on the bus. You know, little hacks, little life hacks is always, my little magnetic thing keeps catching. It's always going to be something that people will relate to. They're not always going to be buying a house. They're going to want to know, how do you get the kids on school on time, you know? So the best marketers are the best communicators, from JT Barnett, famous TikToker. I'm quoting TikTokers now. It's the time we live in. So a good guy to check out. He makes content all on your phone. So communicate quick with a few viral techniques tailored to you. And we'll go to kind of just a little background, statistic-wise. We were laid off from the machine shop in Hunting in 2015. From there, I didn't want to go in the shipyard and bust my tail. So the state had offered a grant program to get a CDL, Class A. So that's what we did. We went and get a CDL. I could barely reach the pedals, but I knew I didn't want to go break my back in a shipyard. So I stayed a month over there at the driver's school, came back, and we found a job in Port Fourchon. That was at Magnum Mud Equipment. Great company, great owners, Gary Daigle and them, great family environment. We drove 18-wheelers for 2 years and then was moved up to management. When I got into management, I was not the best communicator, and I wanted things done so particular that I caught shingles in an occasion just because I wanted to do so good. And it made me realize I've got to do something else, because I cannot continue to operate a crew like this and stress myself out at such a young age. So I started doing audiobooks and reading about communication and all those things, and it led into eventually taking the management role. A 24-hour call, you don't get much sleep, so you're trying to stay up and find things to do. And we learned into the NASM certified fitness training. So being a fitness trainer was very rewarding, and what happened was one of my clients, my very first client, he had lost over 40 pounds. It was great. And we ended up just putting the camera on him and giving him a testimonial. And he just talked about, I watched the video now and I cringe, because like now, you know, I've gotten it advanced in the video and I'm just like, what was I doing? But that's why you do it, so you can look back on those times. Most people, they're like, I don't want to start because I don't know how to do it. I say, look, you got to start somewhere, and then from there, you're going to advance. We ended up doing that testimonial, and we went to the gym the next day. When we went to the gym, people were coming up to him, and they were just so excited to see him and congratulate him, and they were surrounded by him, and he's looking at me like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, bro. Just, you know, live it up. You earned it. And from there, each fitness client I had, I tried to document their journey. I tried to get a testimonial of them whenever we had that initial call. And from that initial call, we would edit the videos up, and they were my guinea pigs. And we just recorded and got better and better. I ended up filming a whole workout library of myself doing the lifts, because a videographer was expensive. So I wanted my videos done a certain way, and I wanted to convey a message to somebody, and I couldn't afford it. So YouTube, in 2023, you can learn how to do anything. You don't need to go to school for video. You don't need to go to school for, you know, social media. You can learn it all for free on YouTube. So that's what I did. And from there, we just started enjoying the camera. We had more work involving the camera. And from there, we left Fourchon, and we were hired by a law firm out in Baton Rouge. So I had a video go viral for one of the LSU games, and reached out to a few attorneys, and we got a job. So now I follow around one of the most prominent lawyers in Louisiana, making TikToks and Instagram for a living. So it's just insane what can happen if you just hit record. That led to the followings that we are at today, being involved in consistency. One of the biggest things that people say when they meet me is that man, every time I open up your phone, I'm seeing your videos. So just being in front of people, and every time they're opening your videos, all stems back to consistency. So you might not be the best at what you do, but if they're opening up their phone and every time they're seeing you, you're consistent. And they're not seeing the other person who is handicapped and not wanting to post because they're scared of what people are going to think. So you gotta let it fly. You gotta be able to be vulnerable. And I think that's something that most people are so worried about, especially on TikTok, as he was saying. People will come for you in those comments, and you got to be ready. You got to have thick skin because people are mean. They'll sit behind that thing and tear you up, you know, and that's why I'll block it, delete it. You know, people are like, oh, well, you know, that's hiding. Man, get rid of them. You don't need that. You know, your mindset has to be on focus, because if your mind goes down, everything is just falls on the wayside. So keeping that energy up, keeping good people around you is going to be the main thing that you want to stick to. So this is a concept that we got from Ryan Magine. All credit goes to him. How do you get views? Well, you don't want to be a cub. And what's a cub? If you're confusing. As David was saying, you know, we got to dumb our stuff down, a Hemingway method, and speak in the language of a fifth grader. So if a fifth grader can't understand it, you got to change it up. You got to change your wording. So confusing the audience, they need to know exactly what the video is about within the first 3 seconds. And TikTok is usually being consumed just mindlessly. People get on there and they'll scroll until something stops them. Being effective in that first initial scroll that stops them, gives them a pattern interruption, is going to be the key to having them listen to the rest of your stuff. Unrelatable or unbelievable. Showing an undeniable amount of proof. And where will people stop believing if they are watching this video? If you are, you know, I could show you, I got all the views and everything. That's cool and all. You film LSU. Like, yeah, you're going to get that. But I've worked with people who have not worked with LSU, and they are relatable and they get views. So having that ability to have the, confidence on what you speak of. You cannot know what the heck you're talking about, but if you just get up here in front of the camera and just say it with your chest, people are going to believe you. They don't know you I'm just saying. Theo Vaughn always says, he's like, I want to thank you. I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I never have. I never really have. And I thought that was just the best quote, because so many people are they're so scared to get in front of the camera. So be relatable and tell them what you're going through, your struggles, and then they'll relate. And then all your other content will be going forward. They'll like that. Boring, that's pretty self-explanatory. A lot of people, they say, you know, well, on camera, they're just a little different. I don't want to get all hyped up. You do have to increase your energy a little bit if you're going to be in front of people, if you're going to be in front of the camera. You're competing with people who are in your face all the time. So get your energy up, do whatever breathing routine you need to do, push-ups. Just get it up before you go on camera. Other than that, you'll be all good. So we don't want to be a cub. We want to be a bear, all right? That's just the opposite. You be believable. You talk about things, family life, day in life of. I'm setting up my equipment. You know, I got a lot of videos of me just setting up for 8 seconds, you know, and then it goes viral. I'm like, man, this was nothing. So you tend to overthink things, and you want to over-polish things when it's really the raw, daily tasks that really do well. Exciting. You know, no one's want to get up there and like, hey, guys, I'm just trying to tell you about eating clean. Like, you got to get the energy up. Authoritative. Say it with your chest, know what you're talking about, because people are going to pick up on if maybe you got some questions and you go to talk about the other side, or you try and just talk in circles to where you protect yourself from any of the naysayers. Like, that's something that's big in fitness. People will either pick a side. I'm keto, or, you know, I'm paleo. When they pick a side, they end up gaining that audience, and then that audience sticks with them, and then you got to go against the keto people. So either way, you're going to have a side that's going to stick to you by being authoritative and being relatable. As simple as that. You be relatable, people will want to see what's going on. what should you be posting? That's something that we all know and wonder. Interest-based algorithm and the Hemingway method. So, interest-based algorithm, you make content that will pique people's interest. Hey, I went down to Rouse's and they got $5 crawfish. This is how I make my dip. Boom, done. That's a post. You know, even if you're a realtor, if you're in a different niche. Hemingway app, writing words, dumbing it down, and the general public will understand. You can download the Hemingway app and you can put in a sentence and it will literally restructure that whole sentence to where you're able to speak in a way that everybody can understand. I'm not going to talk about the type 2 muscle fibers on TikTok. You know, that's for your intimate live audience if they want to get involved with that. So you are the niche, and if you think as you're documenting instead of creating, it's going to be a lot easier. I'm sure many of you know about Gary Vee. He's someone who does the VIDEOGRAPHY method, where you go on there and you comment for a little bit, and then you like some stuff. So it's social media. You got to get social, because I remember before I've had all these thousands of comments and everything, every time I'd post, Mo would be in my comments cheering me on. And, you know, he's someone who I always, even when it was quiet, you know, you always know those people and remember those people that are commenting. So if you become that person for somebody else, then they're always going to remember you and they're always going to be a part of your success. So incorporating people in your success, they feel a part of that. So with those lives, you are able to, hey guys, you know, I'm editing this song. What song are we picking? Someone picks a song. Now we use the song that they pick. Now they're a part of your success. They're with you with that. And they bond with you. And so now it's to the point where we go live every night about 10 p.m. where we do edits. And when I don't get on live, I get messages, hey man, where you at? That's cool, and that's something that you develop over time. When you go live, you could post before you go live, and then when you go live, you're exposed to a lot more bigger audience because you're using the live feature. It pushes you out way farther than if you wasn't live, because the app enjoys using the algorithm to boost you when you are live. So that's something that you can do. This is just a picture, one of my favorite pictures in Santa Monica. We went out there and did some content. This is also a part of the content schedule, is what do we post? So your hobbies and your interests or things that you do for fun, that's about 80%. That's about what you want to be posting, is stuff that free retargeting for expertise and videos. You're just gaining reach at this point. So you're getting views, not necessarily with your target audience, but just in general. You're getting your reach out there. Your expertise or things that you have been paid to do, that should be about 10%, arguably 10, 20%. And then your mastery is what you're doing right now to get paid. So most people, like I said, if they're selling things, they're always shoving that product down your throat. And you're like, man, I really don't want to hear about, you know, whatever it is. So having that ability to understand it's not all about that. People will buy into you, and then they'll buy whatever you talk about. So just getting them to buy into you is what's going to come with the hobbies and the interest. So here are some algorithm techniques that you can use today and take away from this. How do you go viral? You know, everyone's like, man, what's the secret? You are judged based on how many people watch your content, how much of it they watch. So if I got a video that's 8 seconds long compared to a video that's a minute long, the algorithm rewards people who watch 100% of your video. So do you think that they're going to watch 100% of an 8-second video or 100% of a 1-minute video? Of course, the 8 seconds, people are going to watch 100%. They might accidentally watch it twice because it's so short. So now the algorithm is reading that it has 100% watch time twice, sometimes. Bonus points if you can make the video loop without them realizing it even ended. So now they accidentally watched it 2 to 3 times. The algorithm says, hey, people are watching this. Let's send it out. So that's a good hack that you can do, keeping it short and avoiding those minute longs. Every now and then it's good to post those to really double down on your brand and give a testimonial. But main thing is keeping it 15 seconds and under. That's the ticket. Posting to your story. So whenever you're posting, if you post a reel on Instagram and you share it to your story, every story view counts as a reel view. One big thing that Instagram allows you to do is the collaborator feature. And so if you're familiar with that, is when you post something, you add someone as a collaborator, it shows to your audience and it shows to theirs. Anytime that you can collab with somebody, whether that be a local business, another realtor, anybody, you're getting double exposure for free. Always, always try and collab whenever you're posting to Instagram. That's a big feature that people tend to stay away with, is the collab feature and posting to your story. Number 3 is going to be native in-app features. So I talked about this a little earlier, is whatever there's a new feature that rolls out within social media, you're favored and you're boosted within the algorithm by using those features. We got a new 15-second or 60-second ability to post on TikTok. I think TikTok just allowed 10-minute videos. If you would go post a 10-minute video, I'm not saying it would do great, but I mean, there's a chance it could be boosted because it's a new feature. Same with adding text. You know, people, they like to use third-party social networking sites, which is fine. It helps you speed up sites. But some of these apps are now detecting that those are third-party systems. So you need to be actively posting. Hire a college grad or high schooler to post for you. You know, it's a weekend out that they're going to cost, for you to have someone to post and caption, because these features are very key in the algorithm's push. So with YouTube Shorts, you can add text. With Instagram, you can add text. So use those in the top, and then you can actually have it to where it times to the beat. And these features will allow more engagement, and the algorithm will read that as being in-app features. Just these little tips will put you out there a little more, and a lot of people forget about them. So these things are something that you should keep in mind, and I think this was a video. This was whenever a video that went viral. We had no idea it would go viral. This is me leaving Fouchon, a raw video, and I want you to try and think about why this went viral. We'll break it down after. But most of the comments came because people thought it was him speaking in that accent that I have, and they thought I was the other person speaking in that accent, and that was half of the comments. So, he says we only have 2 minutes. That was the fastest 30 minutes of my life. But why this went viral was because, of course, it was genuine, it was raw, it was pure, and it was something that people can relate to. We all have a work buddy that we've bonded with and we've left, and it's been very tough. But most of the comments will come from something that you never expected. And for that, it was our voice being swapped. People were like, not gonna lie, I had to watch that again because I thought it was him talking, the first time. So post your vulnerable moments, be vulnerable, don't be afraid to get in front of the camera, hit record within the app, because whenever you leave this place, yeah, those pictures will be cool of you, but if you got some videos you can leave behind where people can look back on, then that's a whole different ball game. So document instead of create, and I wish y'all the best. So thank y'all.
Thank you very much. We ran out of time for questions, but if y'all have questions for him, he's going to hang out here.